Just to change subject, I want to ask you about the work that you did with the Door Foundation. How helpful did you find that?
Yeah, massively. I sort of stumbled on the Door Foundation by accident. You know, it was my wife met a guy who was a little bit dyslexic, and I had similar issues. I was a bit. I felt I was very rushed and very cluttered in my life. I didn't have much clarity of thought, and excuse me. And I'd go to the shop. For instance, I'd go to the shop. My wife would say, "Get me some milk and get me some eggs." I'd walk in. I'd see some chocolate at half price. I'd grab the chocolate. I'd see a little toy for my daughter, or whatever it was, and I'd grab that, and then I'd walk out the door, and I'd forget the milk and the eggs. And some people think that's crazy, but when you can have that sort of that clutteredness in your mindset, it can harm you, especially in sport. And what the Door Foundation did for me, it's all about the cerebellum in the back of your head, and it was about stimulating the cerebellum to help. It's basically a word processor. It gets the information right in your mind and keeps it in your mind. It's a bit like a car battery. Once it's started, it keeps running, and if it stops, it doesn't get going. It coughs and splutters. So for me, I did a lot of eye tracking exercises, a lot of eye from side to side, up and down, a lot of spinning, a lot of balance exercises. And when I did them, and other people that did it, like Kenny Logan, Steve Redgrave, and Scott Quinnell, all had outstanding finishes to their careers. Excuse me, and that happened to me. I felt like I was more peaceful in myself. I had more calm in my mind. My mind focused better. I picked things up quicker. Rather than having to practice it 50 times, I practiced it 10 and it was in my mind. Excuse me. So for me, it was wonderful. I know one or two people, I think it fell on hard times financially. But my contribution with Door was outstanding, and I loved it. And I still find myself doing key exercises now when certain things happen in my life, like I'm doing motivational speeches or I'm speaking engagements. I do some of the exercises just to sort of to keep me right and put me in a good place.
Back to the cricket. What did you make of your time at Kent, and how was it playing with the likes of Steve Waugh and Andrew Simons?
Yeah, I loved my time at Kent. I'd been at Leicestershire for 12 years before I left. I felt our side had peaked, and I felt we were just over the brow of the hill. We had to rebuild again. I was 30 years old. I wanted to play for England. And Matthew Fleming spoke to me from Kent and said, "Nico, Steve Marsh is coming to the end. We're looking for a competitive keeper, somebody to do well. And ultimately, to play for England." And I'd never heard that before, about me playing for England from my club. So I went down to Kent. It was a great place, a big club to play at. Canterbury was a beautiful ground, great pitches for a keeper-batter. They go through with pace and carry. And at that time, they had Martin Saggers in full swing, who played for England. Dean Headley playing for England. Martin McCaig played for England. Alan Wells had played for England. Mark Elam had played for England. Dean Headley. We had a seriously strong side with Rahul Dravid and Andrew Simons, who were two amazing guys. Rahul Dravid was just a batting guru, somebody who just wanted to bat and bat and bat all day, wanted to live close to the ground, so on days off he could practice on days off, which is a testament to the guy's success. Andrew Simons, when you played with him, and you see him play, he's a ferocious character. He just wants to win. His will to win, his desire to win as an athlete is magnificent. One of the gun fielders in the world, a guy who hits the ball hard, could win a game from any situation. And to have those guys and to have that belief and that balance in the side, we won the Sunday League in the first couple of years down there, which was Kent had always struggled for a trophy. They would be the bridesmaids for so long. So we'd found that we'd a good side, and sadly that side got broken up very quickly. But I love my time at Kent. Absolutely fantastic. Big club. I get a great response every time I go back to Kent. And it was nice to get my highest score against the Kent lads of 173 and out. So, delighted.
So, how did you feel in the couple of weeks where you had the quarter-final here and your last competitive match at Grace Road with obviously that dramatic victory and, of course, the finals day?
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to Matthew Hoggard. I knew it was time for me to go. My body was hurting too much, and day in, day out, and it was about bringing the youngsters through. I always remember seeing the likes of Peter Willie many years ago hobbling around as an old man. I saw Nigel Bryars hobbling around as an old man as a player, and I thought, when I get to that stage, it's time to go. And I felt like I was that hobbling old man in a way. I wasn't keeping wicket. I didn't enjoy fielding because I kept wicket all my career. I loved my batting still. I could keep in 2020. And we said, well, Hoggy said, do you want a game at the end of the season as a thank you game? And I didn't want that. I wanted to go out on a high, on a big game, whether that was at Grace Road in a quarter-final, which we won or we got beat, whatever, it was a big game. And it was at Grace Road against Kent. Or it was finals day and there's a chance of winning it and walking out as a Roy the Rovers victory, which was amazing. So to do well in the 2020, we'd been lucky that I'd had a week off beforehand. I'd played in the nets every day with Razak, who was a great competitor and a guy who's a student of the game, somebody who we talked about how we're going to play overseas players from Kent and how we're going to bat against them and game plans, etc. And they worked perfectly well. And the way he bowled to me was just like they were bowling in the game. So we had great preparation, and the preparation paid off, and we had a wonderful quarter final, and then an even better semi and finals day.
In your book, you mentioned that you went on a charity tour to South Africa. I was just wondering, what are your thoughts about? Would you be? And you also mentioned that you'd like to do some charity work. Would you be interested in doing charity work out in a country like South Africa, or would it be somewhere close to home?
Yeah, I mean, I went out and worked in the townships, and I had a phenomenal experience through the Western Province Cricket Club with 7 other guys, through Nigel Felton, who was a Cape-coloured guy, family had lived out there and brought up out there. And seeing the poverty, seeing how much sport means to them, seeing the kids run 4 miles to training, and I'm a fast bowler, and then run 4 miles home, was unbelievable, it was mind-blowing. And with a pair of boots strapped around his neck, phenomenal. It was a great opportunity. Western Province then put money into those areas, if it was worth putting into those areas, which it was. And the nets are still going strong now, which is great. I, in my benefit year, looked after 3 or 4 different charities that I was sort of been involved with beforehand through family issues, and it was just nice to do that. Listen, we do a lot for charities weekly. We get every other day we get asked to do something or donate something or try and do something for charities, and we wish we could support them all because we'd love to. The club has different charities every day, every game that's down here. And I do quite a lot locally, Lord's Taverners, various charities around from up to Cumbria, the air ambulance. We do all sorts of stuff, Parkinson's Trust. So we try and do as much as we can. It's about how much time we've got at our hands to do it, and how much we've got to give to a certain extent. But we try and do as much as we can, always. Yeah, I never say no to anything, but it's about how much time we've got and how much time to commit.
What are your thoughts on the upcoming England v India series?
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be tough. England have got to be on the mettle. It's such a different place to play. Mystery spinners in the middle order, in the middle is tight with people around the bat. The balance of attack and defence, trust in your defence. It's tough, sweltering conditions. You never really feel 100% at ease in India, whether it's a little bit of jet lag, whether it's a dicky tummy or a bad head or feeling a bit sicky. It happens, So the challenge is keeping your focus, being right, embracing local culture, and just trying to get everything in your favour as much as you can, and believing in yourself. And getting used to the pitches is a big thing. Getting used to different lengths that you can drive as a batsman, playing the spin, knowing your options against spin, and and trusting your defence under pressure when there's a lot of guys around the bat. So it's very different to ducking and diving and the ball seaming around in English conditions, looking after the ball with sweaty hands. It's all, it's a different game out there. So, we need our batsmen to get big runs. We need our top 4, top 5 to get big hundreds and help and put runs on the board for our spinners to bowl at. Predominantly English seamers have taken wickets out there. I still think, Swanee will do well. and Monty's out there as well, isn't he? So Monty to do well, the spinners will do well still, but the seamers get it right and start reverse swinging, we could cause some difficulties. It's going to be tough, but I think if we get out of a draw, if we come away with a draw, we've done well.